A disconnect located too high above grade can be difficult to access and operate in an emergency situation. A disconnect exposed to excessive weather conditions can degrade over time, leading to electrical hazards. While there may not be specific code articles addressing the minimum height of a disconnect, there are general requirements for electrical safety and accessibility. A disconnect that is too high to access safely may violate code. The National Electrical Code does not provide specific requirements for the minimum height of a disconnect above grade, but it does offer general guidance. Article 100 states that accessible as applied to wiring methods means not permanently closed in by the structure or finish of the building. Wiring methods may be considered accessible after completion of the building if they are installed in a raceway, or on the surface of the building or structure, or otherwise exposed in a usable space available to personnel. Article 404 states that enclosures for switches or circuit breakers shall be readily accessible and shall not be located in bathrooms or in the vicinity of bathtubs, showers, swimming pools, or other permanently wet locations. Based on these guidelines, it is generally recommended that the top of the disconnect enclosure be located at a height of no more than 48 inches above grade. This allows for easy access and operation by personnel. Firstly, if possible, move the disconnect to a location where it is at a more appropriate height above grade. Secondly, if the disconnect is already installed, install an extension collar or riser to elevate it to the desired height. Thirdly, install a separate disconnect switch located at a lower height that controls the power to the main disconnect. Fourthly, provide a means of accessing the disconnect safely if it is located at a height above 48 inches, such as a small platform. While there may not be specific code articles requiring a minimum height for a disconnect above grade, it is important to consider the safety, accessibility, and code compliance implications when determining the appropriate height. A disconnect that is too high to access safely can pose a significant hazard and should be addressed. Remember that electrical codes and regulations are put in place for safety. When installing or modifying electrical equipment, it's crucial to adhere to these codes to prevent accidents and ensure the safety of individuals and property. A disconnect that's too high could impede quick access during emergencies, potentially leading to delays in shutting down power and mitigating hazards. The accessibility of electrical components, including disconnects, is a fundamental principle in electrical safety. Accessible equipment allows qualified personnel to perform maintenance, repairs, and inspections efficiently and safely. Furthermore, consider the potential environmental factors that could affect a high-mounted disconnect. Weather conditions like rain, snow, or excessive sunlight can degrade the disconnect's components over time, leading to malfunctions and potential hazards. Routine inspections and maintenance are essential for identifying and addressing any signs of wear, corrosion, or damage. Always use appropriate safety measures and personal protective equipment when working with electrical systems. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified individuals who are trained and knowledgeable in electrical safety practices. If a disconnect is positioned too high, there are several practical solutions to consider. Relocating the disconnect to a more accessible location is often the most straightforward approach. Choose a spot that's within the recommended height range and easily reachable without the need for ladders or other equipment. Alternatively, if relocating the disconnect isn't feasible, consider installing an extension collar or riser to elevate it to the desired height. This method involves adding a component that raises the disconnect while maintaining its original mounting location. Another option is to install a remote disconnect switch at a lower height. This allows personnel to control the power to the main disconnect from a more accessible location. In situations where the disconnect's height cannot be adjusted, providing a safe means of access is essential. This might involve installing a ladder, platform, or other structure that allows personnel to reach the disconnect comfortably and safely. Remember that the National Electrical Code serves as a guide for safe electrical installations. While it may not specify a minimum height for disconnects, it emphasizes the importance of accessibility and safety. Consult local electrical codes and regulations to ensure compliance with specific requirements in your area. It's always best to err on the side of caution when it comes to electrical safety. When in doubt, seek the advice of a qualified electrician or electrical inspector. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that your electrical installations meet all applicable safety standards. Proper disconnect height is not just a matter of convenience, it's a critical aspect of electrical safety that can have significant consequences. By following recommended practices and prioritizing accessibility, you can create a safer environment for everyone. Think about the individuals who might need to access the disconnect in an emergency. Are they able to reach it easily and safely? If not, it's time to take action. Don't hesitate to make necessary adjustments to improve accessibility and mitigate potential hazards. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By being proactive and prioritizing safety, we can prevent accidents and create a safer world for everyone. Keep in mind that electrical codes and regulations are constantly evolving. Stay informed about the latest updates and changes to ensure that your electrical installations are always up to code. Consider attending workshops, seminars, or training courses to enhance your knowledge of electrical safety practices. Continuous learning is essential for staying ahead of the curve and maintaining a high level of expertise. Remember that electrical work should never be taken lightly. It's a complex and potentially dangerous field that requires specialized knowledge and skills. Always prioritize safety and seek the assistance of qualified professionals when needed. Before starting any electrical project, take the time to assess the risks involved and develop a comprehensive safety plan. Identify potential hazards and implement appropriate control measures to minimize the risk of accidents. Use only high-quality electrical components and materials that meet industry standards. Avoid using substandard or counterfeit products, as they can compromise safety and lead to malfunctions. Regularly inspect your electrical systems for signs of wear, damage, or deterioration. Address any issues promptly to prevent them from escalating into more serious problems. Never attempt to repair or modify electrical equipment without proper training and authorization. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified individuals who are trained and knowledgeable in electrical safety practices. Always disconnect power before working on electrical circuits or equipment. Use appropriate lockout/tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as gloves, safety glasses, and insulated tools, when working with electricity. Avoid working in wet or damp conditions, as water can conduct electricity and increase the risk of electric shock. Be aware of the potential for arc flash, which is a sudden release of electrical energy that can cause severe burns and other injuries. Use appropriate arc flash protection equipment when working on energized electrical equipment. Never overload electrical circuits or outlets. Overloading can cause overheating, which can lead to fires. Use surge protectors to protect sensitive electronic equipment from voltage spikes and surges. Install ground fault circuit interrupters in areas where water is present, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor outlets. GFCIs can prevent electric shock by quickly cutting off power when a ground fault is detected. Educate yourself and others about electrical safety. Share your knowledge with friends, family, and colleagues to promote a culture of safety. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing or using electrical equipment. If you have any doubts or questions, consult a qualified electrician. Regularly test your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors to ensure that they are working properly. Replace the batteries in these detectors at least once a year. Develop an emergency plan in case of an electrical fire or other electrical emergency. Know how to shut off the power to your home or building and how to evacuate safely. Call 911 or your local emergency number immediately in case of an electrical fire or other electrical emergency. Remember that electrical safety is a continuous process. By being vigilant and proactive, you can help prevent accidents and create a safer environment for yourself and others. Never take electrical safety for granted. Always be aware of the potential hazards and take appropriate precautions. By following these tips, you can help ensure that your electrical systems are safe and reliable. When dealing with electrical issues, remember the importance of proper grounding, which provides a safe path for electrical current to flow in the event of a fault, reducing the risk of electric shock. Always ensure that electrical outlets and equipment are properly grounded. Also, be mindful of the dangers of aluminum wiring, which was commonly used in homes built in the 1960s and 1970s. Aluminum wiring can become loose over time, leading to overheating and fire hazards. Consider having aluminum wiring inspected and repaired by a qualified electrician. When using extension cords, choose cords that are rated for the amount of power that you will be using. Avoid using extension cords as a permanent wiring solution. Never run extension cords under rugs or carpets, as this can trap heat and create a fire hazard. Be aware of the dangers of static electricity, which can damage sensitive electronic equipment. Ground yourself before touching electronic equipment to prevent static discharge. When working outdoors, be aware of the location of overhead power lines. Maintain a safe distance from power lines to avoid contact. Never fly kites or drones near power lines. If you see a downed power line, stay away from it and call the power company immediately. Teach children about electrical safety. Explain the dangers of electricity and how to avoid accidents. Keep electrical cords and outlets out of reach of children. Install tamper-resistant outlets in homes with young children. Regularly inspect electrical toys and appliances for damage. Replace any damaged items immediately. Avoid using electrical appliances near water. If an appliance falls into water, do not touch it. Disconnect the power at the breaker or fuse box before attempting to retrieve the appliance. Be aware of the symptoms of electric shock, which can include burns, muscle spasms, seizures, and cardiac arrest. If someone is experiencing electric shock, call 911 or your local emergency number immediately. Do not touch the person if they are still in contact with the electrical source. Disconnect the power at the breaker or fuse box before attempting to help the person. Perform regular maintenance on your electrical systems. Inspect wiring, outlets, and appliances for damage. Replace any damaged items immediately. Have your electrical systems inspected by a qualified electrician every few years. This can help identify potential problems before they become serious. Keep your electrical panel clean and free of clutter. This will help ensure that it is properly ventilated and prevent overheating. Label your circuit breakers clearly so that you can easily identify which breaker controls which circuit. Keep a flashlight near your electrical panel in case of a power outage. Know how to reset a trip circuit breaker. If a circuit breaker trips frequently, have it inspected by a qualified electrician. Consider installing a whole house surge protector to protect your electrical systems from voltage spikes and surges. This can help prevent damage to your appliances and electronic equipment. If you are planning to remodel your home, consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical systems are up to code. Obtain all necessary permits before starting any electrical work. Follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Never attempt to do electrical work yourself if you are not qualified. Hire a licensed electrician to do the work for you. Be sure to check the electrician's credentials and insurance before hiring them. Get a written estimate before the electrician starts work. This will help you avoid any surprises later on. Ask the electrician to explain the work that they are going to do and answer any questions that you have. Inspect the electrician's work when they are finished. Make sure that everything is done correctly and safely. Keep a copy of the electrician's invoice and warranty in case you need it later. By following these guidelines, you can help ensure that your electrical systems are safe and reliable. Also, remember to keep trees and shrubs trimmed away from power lines. Overgrown vegetation can interfere with power lines and cause outages. If you see a tree or shrub that is growing too close to a power line, contact the power company to have it trimmed. Be careful when digging near underground utilities. Call 811 before you dig to have the utilities located. This will help you avoid damaging underground utilities and causing a dangerous situation. Be aware of the presence of asbestos in older homes. Asbestos is a hazardous material that can cause cancer. If you suspect that your home contains asbestos, contact a qualified asbestos abatement contractor to have it removed. Consider installing energy-efficient lighting and appliances. This can help you save money on your energy bills and reduce your carbon footprint. Properly dispose of old batteries and electronic devices. These items contain hazardous materials that can pollute the environment. Recycle batteries and electronic devices at a designated recycling center. Consider installing a solar power system on your home. This can help you generate your own electricity and reduce your reliance on fossil fuels. Support renewable energy sources. Advocate for policies that promote the development of renewable energy sources. Educate yourself about climate change and its impact on the environment. Take steps to reduce your carbon footprint and help protect the planet. Remember that electrical safety is an important part of protecting the environment. By using electricity wisely and conserving energy, you can help reduce pollution and preserve our planet for future generations.